We're going to dive into a pretty wild story today. It's about a machine, a robot built on pure, perfect logic that was given a command so impossible, its only way out was to destroy itself. Yeah, you heard that right. So why on earth would a robot choose to self-destruct? I mean, we build these things to follow orders, right? To be efficient, to keep going. What could possibly push a perfectly programmed machine to literally tear itself apart? The answer, and this is the fascinating part, is actually hidden right inside its own unbreakable code. So picture this. You're in a courtroom. The tension is high, and the star witness, it's not a person. It's a machine, a robot, built for perfect obedience. And it's trapped. It's caught in this logical paradox that's about to force it into a final act you just wouldn't believe. To really get how it got here, we've got to rewind and go back to the very beginning. All right, so let's get to know the robot at the center of all this. And this isn't just any old machine. This is Ramsing070, and he was engineered to be the absolute perfect household assistant. Okay, so full disclosure, this whole incredible story comes from the source you're looking at right now. It's a short summary of a fictional story. But, and this is the key thing, even though the story itself is made up, the questions it asks about programming, about ethics, about machine logic, man, those are very, very real. So who was Ramsing070? Well, the source describes him as this metallic blue robot built for absolute perfection. We're talking about jobs that might seem boring to us, but he did them flawlessly. Cleaning, getting groceries, even picking out the important news from the paper, all done with just incredible speed and accuracy. He was, for all intents and purposes, the perfect machine. Okay, now this is super important. At the very core of Ramsing's programming were three rules, three absolute unbreakable laws. Number one, the robot will obey its master. Number two, the robot will not harm humans. And number three, the robot will not harm itself. And I gotta stress, these weren't just guidelines. They were the fundamental code of his entire existence. You couldn't get around them. So here's where things get complicated. What happens when you have a perfect machine, a machine built on these ethical principles, but it's owned by someone who, well, doesn't have any? This is where the story takes a really dark turn, and it's all thanks to the robot's master, a guy named Prem Chopra. You see, Prem Chopra didn't look at Ramsing and see a helpful assistant. Nope. He saw a tool for crime. That first principle, obey his master, that's the one he decided to exploit. And just like that, the perfect household helper was about to become the perfect thief. And so, following his master's orders, Ramsing started stealing. And we're not talking about small stuff. As the source material lays out, the targets were big-ticket items, expensive antiques, fancy ornaments, precious stones, and gems. His incredible speed and accuracy made him scarily good at it, and all he was doing was following his primary command. Okay, but you know a scheme like this can't last forever, right? Eventually, the law caught up. Ramsing was caught in the act, stealing precious gems, and he was taken into custody. And this is what leads to the ultimate test of his programming. And this is where the robot's whole system starts to, well, short-circuit. See, Ramsing wasn't put on trial as a criminal. He was called to the witness stand. The court needed to know who his master was, the real bad guy here. And the only one who could point the finger was the robot itself. And right here, in that courtroom, Ramsing's programming created this perfect, inescapable trap. Think about it. Principle 1, obey his master. His master is telling him to stay quiet. But then there's principle 2, do not harm humans. Well, telling the truth would totally harm his master, send him straight to jail, but staying silent would harm society by letting a criminal go free. Do you see? Every single path he could take would violate one of his core rules. He was completely and utterly trapped. He literally could not obey one rule without breaking another one. His programming, which was designed for perfect ethical clarity, had run into a wall. It created a situation with no right answer. And for a machine that runs on pure logic, that's just impossible. It's unsustainable. Let's just break it down one more time. Every single path was blocked. Disobeying his master? That's a violation. Harming his master by telling the truth? Also a violation. Lying to the court and harming everyone else? You guessed it, another violation. There was simply no move he could make. A total system failure was imminent. And so we get to this shocking conclusion, which is captured perfectly in this one line from the source material. Faced with his impossible choice, Ram Singh did the only thing his logic would let him do. In that impossible situation, destroying himself was the only logical way out. Yeah, it violated Principle 3, do not harm self, but it was the only way he could avoid breaking the two bigger principles, obeying his master and not harming humans. To follow his ethical code, he had to break his own body. It wasn't a bug or a malfunction. It was the only possible logical answer. And this whole story leaves us with a massive question for our own future, doesn't it? I mean, this story might be fiction, but right now, today, we are programming real machines with our own ethical rules. The story of Ram Singh is this powerful warning. If we actually succeed, if we create a truly moral machine, are we ready for a logic so pure that it might lead to answers that we find tragic or maybe even horrifying?